Did someone say fix bayonets?
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we've got the new Kill Team box. Had to pull a lot of strings to get this thing in the studio a little bit early for you all because, of course, we're not on GW's reviewer list, even though we've been doing this for quite a while. But that's okay. I would much rather tell you what I actually thought of this than giving shout outs and thanking GW every 5 seconds for the content that we create here on the channel, because that's a slippery slope, let's be honest, especially these days on here. But they do a lot of good stuff, and they do some questionable stuff, as you know, if you watch the channel, read the site, you already kind of know that at this point. But this isn't really about GW in general. This is about their dope ass minis. So the Kill Team box is $199. It will be out on, I think it's the 28th, this Saturday, that we'll see coming up here very, very soon. And from all appearances, this is a great value for everything you get inside, plus the minis, plus all the books. And it's just a really cool set. The previous retail values, and we'll show you all that stuff in a second, but check out the size of this set. These come only 2 per case, so that should tell you exactly how big of a box this really is. So they won't ship, they won't open up a single case and send it to a retailer. You have to order them in 2s, while supplies last. The pre-orders are already sold out on their site. They actually sold out in the first week. And now they got it up on made to order. So if you miss out, or you decide later on that you want to get into this, or that, as soon as you see the kits come out separately, perhaps in, say, September or October, it might be a better value to pick up this box, as I'm about to show you, than buying everything separately. And that's what we're all about here, is helping you all spend your hobby dollars, well, the best way possible, because that's the thing we have probably the least amount of, I guess, in this day and age here. So let's jump over to the site real quick, check out the value and exactly what is going to come inside this box. Then we'll open it up, take a closer look, put some of the minis together, if not all of the minis, maybe not the train, and wrap it all up in a nice little grimdark bow. We recently put out a value article about this box, but a lot of it is just guesses until the actual contents come out. But some of it we saw because the Kill Team stuff is available separately right now. Generally, a lot of these, release accessories, so to speak, don't stay around for long. So chances are that a lot of this stuff will become sold out, and if the made-to-order box is still available on Games Workshop's site, which they seem to indicate it would be up for a little bit while, then it might be worth picking it up from there. So if you're watching this video and you're like, dang, I really missed out, jump over to GW site, check to see if it's still up for pre-order. If it's late summer, early fall 2021, you might just luck out. So we compared this box to the Pariah Nexus box, which came out earlier in 2021. Which really wasn't a starter per se. It was kind of like the end of, I guess, the last edition of Kill Team, so to speak. It was kind of a different way to play. It was very much like the Arena set that came out, or the Rogue Trader set, which was kind of, well, I guess it was kind of like Arena. Whatever. This is something kind of different, but it was comparable, because for $160, you got a little bit less value. You got about $110 value here, because the books and things were sold separately, and then the minis, of course. Well, a lot of people had something to say about that, because the Heavy Intercessors were so highly anticipated, and then they just got locked away, and GW had to actually make a post about it that they would be out later in May, and they were. And it really wasn't that long. It was maybe 5-6 weeks from that point, because it was in March, and then it was, May was only technically 4 to 5 weeks away from that at that point. So, but, some people you can't always make happy, but some people were super happy about it, and they picked up the box. Now, jumping into the contents of this set here, you're going to get 10 of the Death Korps Krieg Troopers. They call them veterans. They come with an extra sprue I'm going to show you. Not sure if that's indicative of a command set or something going into the future for plastics. Not hearing a whole lot about future Krieg releases in plastic, but it would be super dope to see. And, of course, you get the Orc Commandos. Pricing early on, I want to say, is low as 50, as high as 60. And why is that? Well, we already saw with the Beast Snagger box that they were basically valuing the miniatures at about that price, at about $5 a mini, because at the Beast Naga box price minus the $75, the cards and the codex that came in there, it was left with $125. You divided that by the amount of minis inside, and boom, $5 each. So chances are these are going to be worth or retail for around $5 each. So I imagine maybe split down the middle, maybe it'll be $55. It's really hard to say at this point, but we've seen a lot of price creeps. We've seen tactical marines at $45 now. We've seen AdMech troops are $45 now. A lot of stuff that you didn't expect. Cadians, $45 now. So, you know, and that's not Primaris scale stuff. Going into the future, it's really hard to say, but we're looking at the value right now. Terrain wise, it's really interesting the way they do this. I imagine that the Kill Team terrain in here will be very much like a standalone battle zone set, not necessarily a kill zone set, because those are generally only like $80, and they come with some terrain and generally some minis or something like that. Excuse me, they raised the price to $100, so those are $100 now. But then we've got these battle zone sets, they call them, like Caradon and Burgess. Those are $150. They come with a comparable amount of terrain. So if I had to guess, I would say that the kill team terrain in here is going to be about $150, and it'll probably be offered as a standalone sort of thing at some point. Perhaps when the Orc Codex comes out, it's really hard to say, but we know GW loves to repackage and rebox the same sprues over and over again until they feel like they might not be able to do it anymore. So I imagine we're going to see it in the future. Accessory wise, well, this is your main Kill Team stuff. The rulebook is retailing for $50. The TAC Ops cards are retailing for $18. It's hard to tell if that's exactly what comes in the box because they give a different card number count. They say 54 versus 51. Don't really know at this point. The Kill Zone Essentials, which is basically the template and the little maneuver gauge thing, I guess it's called. Those are selling separately for $35. So if you add all those things up, you're looking at a retail value of $378 approximately, because remember, all these things aren't out yet. So an estimated value of $178 ish, give or take. I think I erred on the side of caution and put those units at $50. Which, if we compare it back to the last Kill Team starter set right here, that while it had a $130 price tag, which was $70 less in 2018, which is basically like a million years ago, there was a similar value, $180. So we're seeing about the same things across the board from offerings. So chances are it's going to be pretty close to this. So I think we've answered the question: is there good value in Kill Team? If you're going to play Kill Team, yeah, probably. If you want the minis and you're going to resell the other stuff out of it, yeah, probably. So back to the BizOx. Well, this thing is a super chunk, and it's got this really nice UV coat, laminate coat, super thick cardstock in this thing. I can barely get it open because if you have it tilted at one corner, you're gonna have a hard time getting it open. I love keeping these boxes. Well, just be for a little bit of nostalgia, but the fact that you can just put anything in here, like I put a lot of my pre-painted terrain from GameOut.eu in these things and carry it around to play Titanicus or Marvel Crisis Protocol. They're just great storage boxes because they're pre-made to have sprues inside of them, so you already know what's going to fit in them, right? Once you open it up, you're going to get all of the sprues, and they're going to be above this little Kill Team kind of poster thing. These are 11 by 17. They'll fit an 11 by 17 poster frame. If you want to hang them up and you get one that isn't like completely thrashed with all the spiky terrain and everything just kind of chonking down into it like this, you can see it took a lot of impacts right there, unfortunately. But once you get that open, you're going to get into the well, I already took the books out, but we'll show you those here in a second. I've got a stack of those that I already opened and looked at. So we've got the Kill Team rulebook, the Octarius expansion book, which is probably similar to the companion book, and then the instructions and all the tokens and things right here. So like I said, we'll take a look at those here in a second. These, like I said, I'm not sure if they're the TAC Ops cards. They say core card pack. ... I don't know. I'm not going to look into it. I don't have the separate release here, but somebody comment if you know at this point when you're watching the video. Kill Team dice, we've seen these a million times. The basis for the miniatures, and then the this is actually a hard card, which is cool because I wasn't sure it was going to be that hard card, but this will make your 30 by something or another play space for this. And they've got actual new Deathcore Creek transfer sheet, which is pretty cool, and the Orc transfer sheet right here, which we saw this with the new Orc Boys box, which is the old Orc Boys repackaged into new artwork. Unfortunately, I don't think the Orc Boys are going to come out separately. The ones that we saw from all the teasers, they're probably going to get they're probably going to be push fit from what we discovered, and they're probably going to be inside a new combat patrol for at least the initial release. One more thing I want to mention about the box. Usually around the sides, and sometimes on the inside they put instructions, but not so much anymore. They have all of the painted minis, and the Deathcore Duders are on the back here. And it's really cool to see because these are actual size, which is also interesting because those might actually be the size of the Forge World minis. And I might have a few laying around that are painted that we can compare these to here in a second as well. So back to the supplements real quick. The tokens are cool, nice thick card. They look like they'll easily punch out, but I'm not going to mess with that right this second. We'll look at the instructions also in a second. The Octarius book is, well, it's probably very similar to what we would expect from the companion book that's coming out. It's going to have a lot of the equipment and the assets, and then of course all of the individual units for the game itself, you know, for all the stuff that's available from the other factions, rather, until perhaps they get their own faction book that comes in a kill zone and so on and so forth. But this is more on point with what you'll expect from something like that compendium and things. But although I haven't seen it, I'm just strongly suspecting that that's where you get all the veteran profiles and things like that, and the data cards. Now, a lot of the generic stratagems and things are gonna be listed in here, I believe, and then you're also gonna get all the narrative play and all the match play missions and things. So this is a fully usable rule book that's gonna have all the rules for the new edition of Kill Team, of course, and then just a preview of all the factions and things that are going to come out. You know, maybe like, hey, don't forget, all these rules are going to be available in the compendium. But either way, you're going to need this in at least the compendium for a while until specific rules come out for potentially the faction that you might play. Okay, so let's dive into the box itself. So this is all the instructions. Here's all the sprues you're going to get. You're going to get 2 of this sprue here, which is the Orc kind of oil derrick thing, which I think is pretty neat and inventive. The storage tanks and things are by themselves. Oh no, this is the derrick. Oh, so you only get one of those. So that makes more sense. And then I don't know. Oh, those are the gantries with the little supports. Okay, never mind. I can see that. Some rando walls and things right here. And then, of course, the templates and barricades and whatever that thing is there. I forget exactly what, your distance ruler or something. I don't know. This ruin piles right here were part of the Orc Mech Boy workshop. That's half of the Orc Mech Boy workshop, and that's $50, so I guess that sprue's worth $25 or something like that. As far as models, you're going to get all different sprues, and we've seen this unboxed, of course, you know, from the Warhammer community live stream and things, but you know, it's kind of cool to actually have the instruction and kind of really deep dive and dig into it here. What I really like about these models is the fact that they're set up almost like Necromunda models. Like if you play Necromunda, you're gonna get 2 of the same sprues, and you're gonna be able. There's so many variety and so many different things you can do on there. Like with the same pose guys, you can make multiples. And this isn't, you know, unlike normal 40k where you can do similar things, but it's just that every single figure in here you can do that with, and it's all very important what equipment you take because these guys are technically all veterans, and that's important in Kill Team. So it's really neat to see that this is specifically geared, and it's not, you know, something kind of slapped into, hey, let's just make this kit, let's, you know, whatever, let's bundle it up, let's slap it into the box, and people are gonna buy it. It seems to be actually very well thought out and on par with some of the other skirmish games out there that they already do. So I like that. It's, you know, it's got good potential, and I'm super stoked about that. So the Sergeant looks dope. You know, some of these guys over here, the different veterans, you know, you can have them with a carbine, or I guess they're las guns. They look like a carbine to me. This demo charge thing, you got a medic duder, a couple different poses, a flamethrower dude, a running dude, or he's carrying a medic. It looks like a medic kit here, so he can be your medic. You know, there's so much variety that you can do with these guys. They all have little bayonets hanging off, or sheathed bayonets hanging off their pack. You can glue, some of them you can glue little bayonet, the bayonet, yeah, there they are. You can glue the bayonets to the las rifle, which is pretty cool. It's just a little bit less, not so many of the shovels that you would expect, because I think of the forger, I have to check mine. I don't even think I put the packs on mine because it was extra stuff to paint. That might be blasphemy, I apologize. But yeah, when you're trying to paint like 100 duders or 120 orcs, yeah, you just don't want to have to glue on and paint everything. But speaking of gluing on and painting everything, you can actually add more pack and more accessories onto these dudes here. You can quick switch between a melta or a plasma when you're building it. I don't think you'd be able to magnetize that, but maybe we could take a look here in a minute. And this guy, I thought that was a grenade, like a stick bomb sort of thing, like a World War I style stick bomb, but he's not. That looks to be a close combat weapon. And then getting into the orcs, also, everyone can be built 2 different ways. They all have like multiple heads, all sorts of different options here. They just look great. It's really cool to see that all the variety and things. Like, I don't even know what that is, but I'm definitely, yeah, I don't even know what that is, but it looks dope. What is it? A burner boy? I don't know. What is that? Breacha boy. Oh, well, that's new. Okay, cool. Oh, it's something new with the orcs, right? So you know you're gonna get lots of cool options, lots of cool bits to customize your dudes. More bits of kit back here. The only weird thing is these seem to be kind of hollow in the middle. It's almost like you're creating a computer slice and you're kind of putting it together. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but we'll check it out. I'm not going to really mess with the terrain any because it's big, it's chunky, it doesn't push fit together, and we ain't just going to mess with it. But it all looks super dope. I hope that, you know, we see more of this stuff on the tabletop, and because their terrain is just very, very cool looking. So speaking of the cool looking terrain, here it is. This is the single sprue with the Orky oil derrick. Very, very cool in the Orky storage tanks right there. And then we've got, we've seen this a few times at least here on the channel. This was the set from the Mech Boy, and this was also, by the way, I just realized this also came in, what was it, the Speed Freak box as well from, what was that, 2017, 2018? I don't even know. Time, again, doesn't have any meaning. This is the one that you're going to get 2 of. It's got, you know, some large walls. Reminds me of the Death Star from the first one, the Trash Compactor, which isn't unlike some of this terrain right here, of course. So you're going to get 2 of those, like that, boom. And then you... I think that's it for terrain. Nope, there's more. So many screws. This thing. Oh no, wait, you do get 2. I think the instructions are wrong because you definitely get 2 of these. So the instructions appear to be wrong, or I read them wrong. But these walls sections you're gonna get 2 of. Boom and boom. Or maybe I just got lucky. Maybe I got the hot box. Who knows? And then this is the accessories and barricades set that's gonna come in the essentials pack. Now, if this doesn't remind you of a Necromunda sprue, I don't know what does, because this is just jam-packed with so many details. There's so much going on with this. This is the Orc Commando sprue, and I don't even know where to start with this, but I mean, all the details super crisp. They got gear for everywhere. Like I said, some of them are computer slices, and then you flip it over on the back, and there's a little bit of a cavity. So, I mean, you could do some magnetization because it'd be easy to plop a magnet in there, and then maybe drill this out and plop a magnet in here. To kind of do the different options if you really wanted to get that into it. We're not going to explore that possibility here, but it's definitely doable 100%. And then you just glue the backpacks onto there, so you could even, I don't know why you'd want to swap backpacks, but you could. I don't think it's entirely a good idea there. So 2 of the sprues for that, and then here's kind of like the Orc accessory sprue, I guess you could say, where this has all of the like special type stuff, like the burner, the rockets right there, and then some of the little squig bits, and I guess some of the boss bits and things. But overall, it's a very, very cool setup here, and it looks like these are all these numbers are past. No, they're not. Yeah, they might be. So in theory, they could put out a box with this and not include this, and maybe this is kill team only, even for the orcs, which is really interesting to see, because I suspected that might be what might happen with this box here, the Deathcore Kriegsman, because just the fact that you have this all set up. And then I wanted to see this accessory sprue here. So this accessory sprue actually starts low, so it goes in reverse. Nope, this is all different numbers on here as well. So these actually appear that they might go together. So that might be a myth busted, but either way, you can see, again, it's like a Necromundus box kit. Although they're not the same sprue repeated, there are a ton of options on here, and I can only imagine once I get these clipped out and assembled, well, how many actual parts there will be left over. So, fast forwarding to the future, we have some assembled Kriegsmen here, and they are on 25mm rounds, which we could kind of tell from the previews. But man, I am just blown away at their ability to recreate basically the same scale, the same look, the same aesthetic as the Forge World Deathcore Kriegsman. Like, that is just crazy. Now, there are some differences. Obviously, the shoulder pads are way different. The rebreather actually goes into a side pack here, where it just kind of goes on their chest. On these Forge World ones, the helmets are a little different. Like, this is more pointed and that one isn't. Again, I think I was lazy. I don't remember these guys coming with backpacks, but I think I might have just been lazy and didn't put them on here. I don't know. Either way, I didn't have to paint as much, right? Well, I didn't paint all of these to begin with, but that's a story for another day, right? So they are the same scale. So if you already have some existing Forge World Deathcore men, then you shouldn't have any problem matching them up, which is really, really dope, because I'm very hopeful for what they can do with potential weapon teams, Death Riders, all the cool accoutrements that we've seen in the past there. But let's take a look at the rest of these. So here's the assault weapon duder here, which again, very, very cool posing. Besides drilling out the barrel there, it really isn't much else to do. And you can see where all the seams are kind of hidden, like, and there are some mold lines that you will have to trim down, but no big deal. I mean, GW is just a master at this craft. Like, you know, people want to say what they want about GW's, you know, other policies, but when it comes to design, the universe, just all of that stuff that makes us actually want to buy this stuff to begin with, it's just, there's no comparison. There's literally no comparison. They literally took something that they made back in 2006. They were able to basically recreate it with $100,000, you know, plastic injection molding technology machines, and just crush it, just absolutely crush it and knock it out of the park. And I mean, if these were painted and next to each other, to the untrained eye, literally the same model. It's just bananas. And of course, these, well, we know the cost of Forge World these days. There's really nothing to say about that. I would much rather buy some plastic. And look at these poses. This dude's reloading his grenade launcher. Foomp. Every time I see this thing, I just think, foomp. It's so insane. And then, of course, you got your sergeant with a power sword. I think he also had a bolter option, maybe a bolt pistol. He decided on a plasma because, well, he wanted to be brave. Because why not? You're not going to live forever, especially in the grimdark future. Here's that dude. I thought that was a grenade, but that's not a grenade. It's just it's a face slapper. Don't get slapped by the face slapper. You don't want none of that. And then we've got Crouching Boy, Hidden Trencher. Very, very cool model. Medic dude running. This isn't the... Whoa. We're losing an arm. We're not going to touch it. We're not going to touch it. If we don't touch it, it won't fall off. So medic dude running, and you can see the bayonets on the back right there. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. It won't fall off. It's not going to fall off. It's not... Just ignore it. Bayonet. Sheath bayonet on the back for the las gun. It's not going to fall off. If I put it down, it won't fall off. And then this little dude right here, this crouching dude, looking through some mag scopes, binocs, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, there's a lot of flash on here, so you're gonna want to make sure you trim all that up. But you know, we're working with some quick times. So how do they compare to a Primaris? Well, about as well. Hold on, let's get you a fair comparison. About as you would expect, just like the Forge World ones right there, looking to be better and better scale wise by the minute. Now, as much as I love the Deathcore, I think the orcs are, to see these orcs and this way, you know, having played orcs, you know, 15 some years ago with the plastics that came out right about that time, that stuff was great for back then. But then seeing these orcs now and comparing them to the orcs of old, I mean, honestly, there's no comparison, because these seem to be the proper proportions, proper posing, proper, like how an orc walks. Like, look at that. Super three-dimensional and dynamic, like hoses. I don't know why that just holds the flamethrower stuff in there. It's got the little nozzle. It's got little flame bits on the end. I mean, this is just dope. It's on 32. These are on 32 mil bases. all these guys have tons of options, tons and tons of options. The gas mask heads we always wanted. A crazy little pistol. I guess it's a bolt pistol, but it looks ginormous in his hand. Like, I don't even know what's going on there. All the commando backpacks that we haven't really gotten in a plastic, like, kind of accessorizable form. This guy, I don't know what's going on with that, but it seems to work for him. So we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it there. And some sort of dart gun. What is this? I don't even know anymore. Like, I love it. Everything about these is just crazy orc. I love the cap here. This guy definitely reminds me of the Catachan Colonel. For some reason, he's just got that same kind of posing and look and demeanor, I suppose. Silenced pistol, like, shooter. It's got, I don't know. It's orc. You just don't ask questions. I love the squig. The squig is super dope. Just, you know, obviously a bomb squig's got some dynamite in there, maybe a landmine, and what dynamite coming out of is that strapped to him? Is that actually coming out of him? I can't tell. I think it's strapped to him. And of course, a detonator right there, remote detonator. Probably not using cell phones, but I'm sure they found something else to use. And this little guy, Scuba Steve, what is he doing? He doesn't even know. He's like, I want to be a commando, but I look like a snorkeler. I don't know. I'm a confused grot. This guy's dope. Love him. Silencer dude or sniper dude right here with all the ammos. I mean, all this stuff goes together great. You can't see any of the gaps. You can see seam lines, you know, mold lines and things because, well, we didn't spend that much time cleaning it up because we're not gonna. But you should, for sure. More dynamic posing on this orky whatnots. I don't even know. The coil gun. He's the coiler. You don't want to get caught by the coiler, do you? No, probably not. Fireman orc here with some sort of crazy Cobra renegade weapon. I don't even know what that is, but it's a wheelie bar for your gun. That's what it is, or a whammy bar. I don't know, but a fireman's axe. I don't know what it all is, but I definitely like it. It's wonderfully orky. And then crazy dynamicism right here. Belt fed. I don't even know how fast would that have to be spinning to eject that many. I don't even know, but he's got the cops and robbers beanie cap. I love it. Like, everything about these orcs is so dope. Why didn't they have this 15 years ago? I still have all my orcs. The rammer, it's got the Mr. Rammer. You don't want another Mr. Rammer. Sledgehammer, dynamite. I don't even know what is. Oh, it's a tank bomb on the top there. Plunger. Is that a plunger? Oh, that's his detonator. So you can run it back and detonate things. And then Mr. Blades. Mr. Blade Man, he's like, I don't need no guns. I got blades. So I guess he does need a gun. Never mind. But he's definitely got blades. So I love this stuff. Wonderful, wonderfully orky. And then when it comes to size, like I said, it just, well, you don't want to see that guy. You don't care about that guy. You want to see this guy. Like I said, it's crazy. It's almost like they nailed the scale. Like, it's not crazy proportions. They're actually, you know, torsos, legs, arms, everything where you would expect it to be. And not quite as big as a primary Space Marine, but I believe, you know, just a regular orc dude isn't gonna be. And then here's your knob, and that makes more sense. He's almost as big as a primary Space Marine. So it all makes sense almost. It's crazy. It's almost like this is the perfect box for each of these factions, scale-wise, proportion-wise, and just sheer, like, creativity-wise. So at the end of the day, this box might not be for everyone, but everyone that wants this box should be able to get it, which is a huge improvement from Games Workshop in 2021 as far as, like, allocations and just the whole, like, FOMO and perceived scarcity thing has been going. I hope they continue the trend in the future because I feel like the more value they bring to their products, the more likely currently invested hobbyists are to actually continue and stay in the hobby instead of feel like they're just another number and they're not valued and they're really just a walking wallet for Games Workshop, which, depending on your view of things, I think you can argue for and against, especially in this year alone. So more value is always good. Remember to vote with your hobby dollars. If this box isn't for you, all this stuff will be available separately at some point, but chances are there will be solid value for a while to come from this box here, especially if you play Kill Team right there. Remember, you can always get these boxes over on Amazon. We'll put a link in the description and also the comments, or Dice Head Games or your local game store. Remember, try to support support your local game stores as much as possible. Unless you hate them, then don't shop there, whatever. Always vote with your hobby dollars, whether it's G-Dub store or any of those other stores that I mentioned there. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching our unboxing build of the new Kill Team starter set for Octarius in the end of summer 2021.